Hello all. In this video we are going to see how to write a main class or a driver class. Okay. For that I'm going to write a small thing. So main class, in the name itself it will have a main method. Okay. So what is our class header? Public keyword class and then the class name. Usually what all we have variables, we have attributes, we have variables or attributes, constructors and methods. Okay, since this is a main class, we usually don't write the variables and the constructors. Okay, so we will just go ahead and directly write the methods. Okay, so method is basically here, since this is a main class, we will be having main method. So that would be public static void main. I will explain you about the string args and all that stuff when we talk about the command line arguments. Okay, so for now, please take it as granted, like a main method. So most of you know public static void main. So this is end main, and here it is end class, which is driver class or main class. In this, what we are going to do is we have to create an object, and then we would invoke methods. These are the two things we are going to do. I mean, you could do a lot of things, but in this video we are going to do these two. I'm going to write a syntax to create an object. So class name. Okay, you have to refer this one to a concrete class name. Okay, not this particular class name. I would say a driver class name, maybe here, or a main class name, driver class name. Class name, object name is equal to keyword new, class name, and you would be passing value. Value and so on if you have more. Okay, so if you have more, you may be able to pass them. So this is the way how you would be able to create object, and how you would be invoking methods, always by using object. And what is the object name here? Object name dot methods. Okay, so whatever the methods that you would be able to invoke, you would be able to invoke them. So let's go ahead and write a main class in the NetBeans. In the same package, create Java main class, and then what is our main class name? Let's say book driver. Finish. If you notice here, you already got the book class book driver, and you already, since you selected main class, you got public static void main, the string args too, right? So that means these two parts are already done. Declaration is already done. Now you have to create object. How to create object? We have to create object for the book class. So book b1 is equal to new book of, and then you would pass the values. What values that you would pass? It depends on your constructor. Whatever the values that you have written in the constructor, you would be passing there. So let me check here. How to create object. So book b1 is equal to new book of, whatever the arguments. The arguments has to be in the same way that you have written the parameters here. First one is integer, second one is string, third one is double, which would be book ID, book title, and book price. the book ID, let's say the book ID is 001 or 111, I would say 111, and book title is string, so that's why we have to write it in the quotes. Book title, this is a crime fiction novel. Comma. Book price would be, let's say, $130. 130.23 including tax, everything, let's say. Similarly, you can create any number of objects, which would be book B2 is equal to new book of 222, comma, this is a romantic novel and it may cost 150.33. Okay, so you could create any number of objects. Okay, so if you look at here, we are done with creating objects. Okay, so the next one is invoking methods. Okay, I would invoke two methods here. One is getter method, the other one is setter method, but you could be able to do the same thing using other methods as well. So for example, how we have to invoke methods? We always have to invoke methods using object, especially those are non-static methods. So b1 dot get book ID and system.out.println, you would be able to type ID is and if you want, you could save this in local variable int ID, since it is returning something, right? So book ID is a method that it is returning an integer. Get book ID is a method returning an integer which is nothing but the book ID. So that means whenever you call this, if it has a return value, you could always assign that to a local variable and print it here. Okay, so let me run this by right clicking on the file and run file. So ID is 111. Why 111? Because I invoked it on a book ID. On a book B1, on an object of B1. And instead of writing these two lines in two statements, you could write in one line itself, which would be ID is, instead of writing ID, you could always write book B1 dot get book ID. Okay, so this is way that you would be able to write. I'm using control space in order to get the methods directly instead of typing everything. So the answer is same. Now, if you want to set the book title, since you didn't like the book title name here, you want to change it. So in order to change, what we have to do, we have to use set book title method. Okay, set book title method. So I'm going to use set book title as on, let's say, b1 dot set book title, and I have to pass a title now. So that means I have to pass a new title. So since it is a string, I'm going to pass new title. So what I want to pass, maybe a suspense thriller. Suspense thriller novel. Now you should be able to see whether this book has been set or not. So for that, what you would be doing, again, you would be printing. Remember, set book title method returns nothing. So you don't have to store that in the local variable, or even if you print it directly, you won't get anything because it is not returning any value. Okay, if it is returning any value, you could directly store that in a local variable, or you may directly print that. So now what you need to do is you can print by using new title, by using what? By using get title on b1 dot get title. Okay, run file. So a suspense thriller novel. So previously what it was, a crime fiction. So in order to test it, make sure you print before you actually type. I would say old book title. So old book title is a crime fiction novel, and this one is a suspense thriller novel. So you would be able to change the state of the object here. Okay, so we can change the state of the object by using mutators. So this is way that you would be able to invoke methods. Okay, and here I want to do something different. Can you convert the book title to all uppercase? How to do that? So basically b1 dot get book title, and then b1 dot get book title returns what? b1 dot get book title returns title string title, and then what you could do, title dot title, sorry, title dot, and you get all the string types. Because this is of type string, you would be able to get all the string methods. I want to convert to uppercase. That's it. And then you always could assign a local variable, assign to a new variable, string to uppercase, and then you could print that system.out.println to uppercase. If you want to add a label, you could add, that's up to you. But it's always good to add labels so that it's more descriptive. So now it has been changed. However, instead of writing this in 2 lines, what you could do is you could write in a simple way, string title in uppercase is equal to b1 dot get book title dot to uppercase. So basically you're invoking methods here automatically, and which would give the same result as well. I'm just pasting here so that you could type since I have already invoked on b1, let me invoke it on b2. It should be title to uppercase. So now we will be able to see I should be able to get 2 things. Sorry, this is too lowercase. It should be uppercase. Sorry. I think when I selected a wrong one. So now both are in uppercase because I have invoked here on b1 object. Here I invoked in b2 object. Okay. In addition to that, if you want to print the whole object, print the object, you could directly put that in system.out.println object1 b1. Okay, or you could type object1 b1.toString. or any object here, b1 or b2, b1 dot toString. If you look at here, b1 dot, and you have a method called toString here, if you notice. I will explain about toString in the later on classes, but here at least know how to print object. So now let me write here, right click and run. So I get the address here. Okay, so but I was not able to get it. So that means in the book class you have to write toString. How to write toString is public string toString method, because we are overriding it from an object class. You don't have to worry about all that in this particular video. I will explain that all later on. So basically I want to use return. This is a header for the toString method, public, return type is string. So that means I would be able to return ID plus, since it is a string, I have to concatenate with a space or some kind of string values. Okay, what ID is this? Book ID, right? Plus book title. I'm doing control space in order to get the complete variable name. Book price. Now, I mean, you could click this one also in order to run, but I always use right click run. So this is way that we are printing everything now. So in the past I didn't get both, but now I get the complete object, which would be how I'm printing the object, basically by using these. Maybe if I use hyphens also, that would be good, so that I would be able to see clearly. So 111 hyphen a suspense thriller movie, a thriller novel, 130, and this one. So basically I'm invoking on B1 only. If I could invoke on B2, you would be able to see that. Okay, this is way that you would be able to invoking methods using object. Okay, thank you.